Hello there, I'm in the middle of Hurricane Helene, which is a bit of extreme weather, and I got a little bit of a hybrid video for you. I'm going to show you some of the features of the Anker X1 solar and storage solution, my visit to RE Plus Anaheim 2024, and a project that we were doing in the middle of this hurricane. What better way to show you than to experience this extreme weather? Check it out.
This large horse barn has a bunch of issues with its panel, and not only that, but the meter and service entrance is no good. So here we are changing it out. Some of the issues were consistent power outages, lost neutral, and undersized conductors from the meter can to the panel. Now I can confidently tell you some of those issues can be easily solved by the Anker Solix X1 solar and storage solution. And I'll get into a little bit of that later in the video. But right here you see me disconnecting the live conductor from B leg in this meter can. The reason why we have to do that is there was a crack in the meter block that holds the jaws, and whenever that happens you got to replace it. We scheduled a disconnect here, but they left the live terminals on top and we had to deal with that. And you got to be real careful whenever you're working with something like this. But if you notice, as the day goes on, the situation gets more and more windy and rainy from Hurricane Helene. And that's not to be confused with the face that launched 1,000 ships, but more the storm that sank 1,000 ships. Anyway, back to business, so let's get this broken jaw busted out of here so we can get the new one installed. And I gotta tell you, this really cramped our style on this job because we were hoping to knock this job out quick before the storm got worse. But here's a closer look at the busted block. One of the things that could have helped with the frequent power outages at this barn would have been if they had a generator. And that is actually something that we spoke about at RE Plus 2024 Anaheim when we were talking about the Anker Solix X1. So let me bring you in on that conversation real quick. But I wanted to show you guys also my flight into Anaheim. Look at that sky. It was beautiful. From a forest fire, but still really cool looking.
I think tailor-made almost in a lot of ways to a customer like that that's like in a multi-unit building that doesn't have space, or like a townhouse, you know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring that up to a lot of my customers that wanted generators, but it just wasn't.
Yeah. So you don't need solar for this product. I mean, obviously it works better with it, but you don't need it.
And it also means that since these all have their road energy optimizers, they charge and discharge independently. So as they age, right?
That's why you can mix different age batteries with this system.
Yep.
Very cool.
Yeah, the X1 contains a proprietary and innovative energy optimizer, which applies power level balancing and independent charge and discharge management for the battery pack. And this will help to eliminate decay in the batteries from different state of charge or different state of health. Anker's found a unique solution to different age batteries that I feel like the rest of the industry has struggled for a while. And other manufacturers like the Tesla Powerwall 3 don't offer this, and pretty much you have to have all your batteries the same age in order to get maximum capacity. Another major battery killer is cold temperatures, which we don't have to worry about much in Florida, but it's still super important in a lot of areas.
So there's heat tape wrapped around each cell.
And that's why the X1 maintains a robust charging and discharging even at minus 4 degrees Fahrenheit. And the MI80 also operates at full power below negative 4 degrees Fahrenheit, ensuring a constant power generation. Additionally, the Anker Solix microinverters are encased in a premium aluminum alloy to help with heat dispersion, which delivers a year-round performance from negative 40 all the way up to 149 degrees Fahrenheit, which is pretty incredible. And the Tesla Powerwall 3 supports up to negative 4 degrees Fahrenheit to maintain optimal charging and discharging capabilities. And one of the reasons why I bring up the Anker Solix X1 solar and storage solution on this particular project is because it would be installed on the load side of this meter can. So any of these issues that came up, like the power outages and the undersized conductors and stuff like that, would be mitigated. They probably would have been caught at install, but they would also be mitigated because the power would be coming through the Anker Solix X1. The panels would be downstream from that. So when the poor connection in the meter can caused a power outage at the meter, downstream of that, the Anker Solix X1 would within 20 milliseconds change over from utility power to the battery bank. And that's pretty much, I mean, unless you're looking directly at the light, you're not going to see that transition, and it's just going to be a seamless change from utility power to the battery bank. But back to the installation, I'm sure you've noticed the wind is picking up quite a bit. And what I'm doing right here is bringing the 2-inch liquid tight into the top of the meter can so we can install the 2-aught copper feeders, which before this had number 1s, which is not nearly large enough for a 200 amp service, and that's what the main breaker was 200 amps. So a bunch of issues here, but we're getting them straightened out so this customer can have reliable power for many years to come. And now that I had the feeders installed, I figured it was a little easier to run these feeders before I put the meter block back because it gave me a little more room inside that meter can. But I'm installing a replacement. The red piece you see me installing right there is actually a replacement. And I'm landing the load side feeders here. I'm torquing them down to make sure that some of these loose connection issues don't come up again in the future. And for those of you that are curious, I'm torquing them down to 250 inch-pounds. I can't tell you how often we have issues from loose lugs. Probably at least half of the problems we run into, maybe more, are from just loose lugs that weren't properly torqued during the installation process. One other thing I'd like to mention is all the lugs and terminals on the Anker Solix X1 are way over-engineered, and they're not going to be cracking and breaking like the block did on this meter. So now that we have all the connections made up on the load side of this meter can, it's time to reconnect the hot side. And you see me pulling off this little boot right here. Those are great for any time you have to work on a live meter like this. They just quickly and easily pop right on. I like to add a little bit of tape to make it extra secure, but they're on there pretty well anyway. Also, what you just saw me doing is adding a little bit of no locks to make sure this connection doesn't corrode over time. And now I'm landing the hot conductor back onto the lug, and we're pretty much wrapped up in this meter can, and we can focus exclusively on the panel and get that closed up. And just about in time too, because the rain is starting to sprinkle, and we're getting pretty close to a downpour monsoon. Actually, hurricane, I guess you could say. And Bernard's phasing the neutral right here, and once we get the main feeders landed, we can get the power utility company to reinstall the meter. Oh yeah, and the horse that hangs out back in the stall right here, that's my buddy. We hung out for a little while. You know, he was a little stressed out from the storm, but pretty cool though still. This is him over here too. Really cute and super gentle horse. At this point, we're getting pretty close on the job, but the storm's about to kick in full gear here in just a minute. Yep, it started really coming down, and actually there was a tornado about 100-150 yards away that crossed the road and busted down some trees and stuff. So we're just going to put the cover on the Square D Homeline 200 amp panel, close it up, and to be honest with you, the only thing that would make this situation any better is if this customer installed the Anker Solix X1 solar and storage solution. You know what, I might mention it to him. Thanks for watching.